Good morning. A very warm welcome to this service, during which we'll be celebrating mothers of all shapes and sizes, including all of those who take on the role of a mother. And it's lovely to have our visitors with us this morning. A special welcome to the Brownies and Guides, who will also be taking part in the service. My name is Jane Woodscowan. This morning I'll be joined by Anne Holloway and Dave Boyle. Give away. Yeah. Dave is the Centre Director of Kenilworth Youth for Christ, and Anne and I are part of the worship leaders team here at Abbey Hill. During our first hymn, we will be receiving the flags of Brownies and Guides. All that remains for me to do before we sing our first hymn is to invite you all to join us for a cup of tea or coffee at the end of the service at the back of church. You'll be very welcome. So we're going to sing our first hymn, which in verse 3 celebrates families and friends, and we'll be thinking about our families. And I'm delighted to say we've got a very new mum with us this morning, which couldn't be better, could it? So that's a lovely to have you with us. So we'll sing the first hymn, number 152, in Mission Praise, or it's on the screen, For the Beauty of the Earth. And now I've got some brownies, I think, who might be coming to help me with the prayers. Lovely. Lovely. Is it Georgina? You're Ali. Alice and Georgia, okay. So we've got Alice and Georgia, and they're going to lead us in prayer. Thank you, girls. So make sure that's okay.
Should I start? Creator God, Thank you for the signs of spring that we can see all around us. The buds of the trees, the lambs in the fields, and the flowering bulbs. Snowdrops, crocuses, and daffodils.
Loving God, we thank you for all who care for us, who have encouraged us and helped us grow, who we have cared for us when we were unwell and supported us when times were hard.
Mother God, we thank you for the way in which you care for each one of us. Like a good parent, you love us, whoever we are and whatever we do.
Forgive us for the times we take you for granted, when we do things which hurt others, especially members of our family and friends.
Even though we often disappoint you, you are always there for us, concerned for our welfare and always ready to forgive us when we are sorry.
We thank you for example of how to live shown to us by Jesus, and now we say together the family prayer which Jesus taught us.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
That was lovely. Thank you very much, Alice and Georgia. I'm very, very grateful that you helped me there. And beautifully read. Well done. Well, everybody's got to do a little bit of work now, because we want you to use your imaginations as we bring you a little bit of drama. So, imagine that this is a job centre. I'm a member of staff, and Anne and Dave are two people waiting to talk to me. And the drama is a job for life. Put it on the table. Would that help? Yeah. Okay.
I've come to apply for the job.
Which job would that be? Is it one that you've seen advertised this week?
Well, no, but I've seen it loads of times. There seems to be a lot of jobs doing this. I want...
And will you all use the mic? Yeah. Sorry about this. It is a bit of a drama, isn't it? Okay.
I want to be a mother.
You what? Well, I suppose it is Mothering Sunday. It probably puts strange ideas in some people's heads. A word of warning, though. There may be lots of positions available, but it's not an easy option. Whatever training you do never seems quite right. It never seems to fit the particular post you get. It's the most demanding job around, I'd say.
Well, I am up to level 10 in maternal awareness, and I have certificates to prove it. And I'm willing to do some more background work.
Well, the fact is, it's more than a job. It's 24/7, and you can't give up on it. Don't know what I'm doing now. It's a job for life. You may have a partner, in which case it's a job share, but some people just simply have to go it alone.
Sounds like a fascinating job. It's the most fascinating job I've heard of. Could I do it?
Well, I suppose mums can come in all shapes and sizes. Sometimes they're actually dads, or grandparents, foster parents, step-parents, godmothers and carers.
Do you mean it's about what you do and how you are rather than, the job title? I suppose you need a certain je ne sais quoi.
What? Wait a minute. What's this je ne sais thing? I'm not qualified in foreign languages.
I tell you what, I'll read you the job description. That might help.
Good
Yes,
idea.
yes, please. Yes, please.
Mothers wanted. Hours, variable. Contract, long-term. A commitment for life. Rate of pay, irrelevant. Personal qualities and skills. Successful applicants will above all else be caring people, able to put the needs of others before themselves. There's no need to be highly literate or numerate,
Thank goodness.
although a certain level of competence will help with homework and bedtime stories. Menial and messy tasks are part of the job. Creativity will be an asset, together with a sense of fun. Mothers will have a special quality of bringing light and sparkle into a child's life, especially when things seem dark and difficult. They'll provide security and a sense of well-being. They'll inspire, guide, and help without controlling. And there's a footnote. Mothers must also be aware that having mastered one set of requirements, another stage of development will occur, needing a new set of skills. And these must be learnt in the job by trial and error.
Wait a minute. You need to be super to do all that.
Well, a bit of divine inspiration would certainly come in useful. Come to think of it, there's a lot of ways in which God tends and nurtures us, just like a mother, and shows us what an ideal mother would be like.
Funnily enough, I can think of quite a few women down the years who fit quite a bit of that description, and some of them didn't even have children of their own.
What? You mean like Florence Nightingale, or Mother Teresa, or Malala Yousafzai?
Yeah, and all those unnamed poets, artists, thinkers, reformers, supporters and carers who've gone under the radar, almost unnoticed.
This is all getting rather deep. I'm going to have to consider this very carefully. Maybe I'll come back tomorrow, and to think, I only came in here for a job. We've missed the Oscars for this year as well, so. Right, we've come to our second hymn, which is One More Step Along the World I Go. And if you have a hymn book, it is 1346. At this point, are there any notices? Yeah.
Morning. As you all know, we are having a talk here next Saturday on the recycling, the new recycling system, and we'd be delighted to see as many of you as possible here with your questions and any items that you don't know how to recycle, bring them along and seek an answer. And then in a fortnight's time after that, we're having the tabletop sale. And there are posters and little flyers in the porch. If you can take them and distribute them wherever you can, that would be much appreciated. And it's about, we've got pre-loved items, jewellery, clothes, books, toys, plants, a swap table, which is where you can bring something, put it on the table and take something else away without exchanging any funds. So have a search through your cupboards and see if there's something you no longer need that somebody else might. And there'll be tea and coffee and some lunch, light lunch snacks, and it's from 10 till 3 on the Saturday, the 8th of April. Yes, there is contact details on there if you would like to have a table. If you had a nice spring clean, sorted out your cupboards and drawers, and things you don't want, bring them along, have a table and sell them. And the profits, you pay £10 for the table, but what you do with the profits is entirely up to you. So have a good clear out and come along and sell your goods.
And just to follow on from that, if there's anything that you can do to help us or anything that you're prepared to donate, if you could let us know in advance, that would help us with the planning, and the form will be up on the notice board at the back after the service. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So now we'll take the offertory, the plates. Yeah. there's some daffodils have just travelled upstairs. Oh, they're just travelling upstairs. So for our technical wizards. Thank you. It's so lovely to see that. I think, has everybody got some? I know some of the mums who look like dads have got some, so it's really nice that everybody has some. I need to wait for the brownies to come back because, is it you two that are helping me? Oh, right. Well, you can come up and have a little look then. So they're very much in demand, Georgia and Alice. And they didn't even know about this till about 10 minutes ago. So that's one of them. That's another. And then I'll read that if you like. Okay. Or you can read it. Oh, okay, fine, thank you. Right. Okay, so we do one, and then do you want to do a read verse each? The rest of that verse is on the next page. Okay. Right, so I'm redundant. Here we go.
To the world you're a mother, to our family you're the world.
A mother's love is the fuel that enables a normal human being to do the impossible.
My mother is full of joy in life. I am her child, and that is better than being the child of anyone else in the world.
Mum, you are one of my favourite parents.
Mum, you're a wonderful mother, so gentle yet so strong. The many ways you show you care always make me feel I belong.
You're patient when I'm foolish. You give guidance when I ask. It seems you can do most anything. You are the master of every task.
You're a dependable source of comfort. You're my cushion when I fall. You help me in times of trouble. You support me whenever I call.
I love you more than you know. You have my total respect.
If I had my choice of mothers, you'd be the one I'd select.
No, it's fine. Thank you, girls. I really couldn't have done it better myself. That was really lovely. Thank you. And now we come to the main event. So we invited Dave, who is, as Jade said, Kenilworth Youth for Christ, and known possibly. Have you seen Dave before at school? No, I think the older girls probably go into Kenilworth School more, don't you, Dave? But so we'll invite Dave.
Morning, everyone. How you doing? It's good to see you all this morning. Anne and Jane promised me a good hour, so I'm only kidding. Yeah, it's really good to be here, actually. I'm really excited. For those that don't know me, which I think is most of you, my name is Dave. I am the Centre Director at Kenilworth Youth for Christ. For those that are thinking, what on earth is that? Kenilworth Youth for Christ has been in Kenilworth now since 1992. And we serve young people, we serve the local school, and we just, we love exploring faith with young people, but we also just love getting alongside young people to encourage them, to see them be the very best that they can be. And we do all kinds of stuff from a bit of mentoring or lunch clubs in school, after school clubs. Recently we took 29 young people away on our weekend away, which was crazy. And for anyone that's ever worked with young people before, you'll know we got off quite lightly because only 2 doors got broken. So it was awesome, enjoyed that, and it was great. But I just wanted to say, before we go any further, is there might possibly be a few treats in the pockets of some of the chairs. Little hint, they're only going to be in the first 2 rows. So if you find something, if there's not anything down that way, maybe have a look a bit close this way. And the 3rd row as well. There's probably, check those ones. Primarily for the brownies and If you haven't got one, there's probably one along here as well, but we'll get that a bit later. Yeah, it's really awesome because, quite frequently I meet quite a number of people that have had a fair bit to do with Kenilworth Youth for Christ over the years, whether that's serving with us, whether that's helping us out in some way, praying for us, supporting us, or even supporting us. I know, Di, you'd mentioned the other day that you'd had a bit to do with Youth for Christ at some point, which is awesome. It amazes me. And, I'm really thankful because, I'm here because of the faithfulness of people that came before me, and that's a real honour. So as we get started, I won't keep us here very long, but I just want to ask a question. By show of hands, who here has a mom? Doesn't matter if they've passed or not, that's fine. All of us, of course, we all have mums. And sadly, maybe some of us, our mums aren't with us anymore. There might be, maybe you're a stepmom. Maybe in some way you've helped raise children. And that's absolutely awesome. It blows my mind, the incredible work that mums do. And given what we just heard in the little sketch, it's a wonder that anyone actually signs up for the job, is it? I've got 3 children, young children, which explains the incredibly haggard look upon my face. But that's fine. But it's my wife. She's an absolute warrior. She's a stay-at-home mom, and all our kids, my oldest has just turned 5. So she absolutely, I'm always standing in amazement of how well she does, and I'm sure that's the same for every mother in whatever capacity that is you find yourself this morning, because motherhood is a sacrifice, isn't it? It's endlessly giving of yourself. Like I say, my wife and I have got 3 children. I'm just in awe of how well we've managed. Mostly she has managed to keep 3 humans alive, which is a feat in itself. In fact, my first ever memory growing up, I think I was probably a toddler or something. I was sitting on the back of a bike, like on one of these little seats, and my mum, it's turned white now, but her hair was like a lion's mane, and it was all black, and it was in my face, and she was wearing a shell suit, which probably is why it's stuck in my mind. They're coming back, I think, shell suits, like bum bags, aren't they? Anyway, so my mum, that's like my first memory of being with my mum. I used to love spending time with mum, but I've got loads of memories of my mum. She used, the way she invested with us, the places she used to take us. I got 3 other brothers, and she'd take us everywhere, take us to the woods, take us to different youth events, and the amount of investment she put in us has made me who I am today, and I absolutely love her for it. In fact, at one point, I think she was considering registering mum's taxes as an official business. Should have been well in business, that's for sure. But she is a bit crazy. My mum's a bit of a screw loose. She's mad, to her own admission, which probably explains a lot about me today. But in fact, my best memory of my mum, I love, when I was a kid, I used to love castles. Absolutely love castles. Kenilworth Castle, brilliant. This one time at Warwick Castle, right, I literally thought, I was obsessed with Narnia, and I always thought it was Caspian out there. In fact, I unofficially changed my middle name to David Caspian Boyle. And anyway, so at the end of the shop, you always get them shops, don't you? And they just put everything out, so all the kids go, yeah, I want this, want that. And anyway, I being a knight, obviously, I had a sword, one of them wooden swords, and before me was a priceless piece of armour. And do you know what I saw? An enemy. And so I drew my sword, and I smacked this piece of armour, to everyone's horror, obviously. And my mum was like, what do we do? And piece by piece, this armour started to fall off. First it was its little wrist, and then its arm, and then another piece, and then its helmet, and it all came crashing down, and the helmet came rolling towards the receptionist's feet, and I just put my sword back in and said, it's dead. And my mum, being what any good parent would do, is she picked me up and ran. Come on, I love my mum, she's so great. Absolutely awesome. You know, again, but you know, parenthood is difficult, isn't it? And my wife, again, I've watched her in times of frustration, and you know, it really takes it out of you. It's a full-on 24/7 demanding job, and sometimes, you know, honestly, you can lose yourself in it, can't you? Because you're so giving to little ones. And my wife, she's a real pioneer. She's a real dreamer. You know, she's an action person. And so at times it's been quite difficult, you know, motherhood, because you have to put yourself second, don't you? And you have to put little ones first. And that can be a real challenge. And yet, we are all, or most of us here, are here because of the investment we had from our mums. And dads, of course. Dads are awesome too. But it's that constant engagement, isn't it? It's that encouragement, those hugs, you know, the safety you feel when you're around her, and all she's contributed to you. And it's clear that, you know, women are highly valued, mums are highly valued, but also from a biblical perspective, you know, some people might try and downplay the role of women biblically, but I would counter that by a few different things. First is that God himself, the Creator, humbled himself to be born from a woman. Could have come in some crazy way, couldn't he? Like, I don't know, like a meteor coming down or something like that. But he humbled himself. Second, the best news the world would ever hear, Jesus, raised from the dead, was trusted to women. And back in those days, contextually, a woman couldn't even give her account in court because of her social standing. Her word wasn't recognised. And yet Jesus entrusted this news to women. In Romans 16, Phoebe is sent by Paul with his letter to the Romans, carrying an incredibly important message. And usually the person back then carrying the message would be the person to read it out loud for everyone to hear, which is just, again, it's unheard of. Esther spoke on behalf of the Jews in Babylon. It was a woman that anointed Jesus' feet with oil before his death, a woman that washed his feet with her tears. And we could be stood here for a while, couldn't we, talking about how amazing our mums are and how amazing women are. You know, at Kenilworth Youth for Christ, we work with a bunch of different young people, many different young people. Every single week we've got, for instance, on Fridays, we've got something called Girl Talk, which clearly I'm not allowed to go to. I think it's the moustache that gives it away. But that's we just want to create a space for young women to be encouraged and to be lifted up, and we've got some amazing volunteers there, and we've got a young girl that turns up to literally everything we do. She's had a few problems making friends, which is quite sad, but she turns up to every single thing we do, and she really connects with a couple of our volunteers. She came away to the youth weekend away with us. She's coming to running an Alpha course. We ran our first one last week. We had 26 young people come. We've got more coming this week. But this young woman, she had a birthday party not too long ago. And who did she invite? It's two of our volunteers, which is absolutely awesome. And what's the point I kind of want to draw out of this is we work with young people that need mums, that need nans and great nans and aunties and sisters. And I don't know where you're at this morning, if you're feeling a bit useless, or maybe that you're thinking, well, I haven't, there's not really much I can do. Please don't think like that. Like I say, we don't need to be superheroes. We just need to be available. I love dropping in to the coffee pot here on a Thursday. If you've never been, it's absolutely amazing. You'll get an incredible welcome. I must also confess that I am lured in here by Betty's wonderful lemon drizzle, which is legendary, I must say. But to coin a phrase, use what you've got. If you're unsure how you can make a difference, use what you've got. Be a mum to someone who's lost theirs. Be a nan to someone who needs a hug. Be a sister to someone that needs a friend. And, for those that haven't parented for whatever reason, their own children, my stepmom hasn't had any children of her own, and yet she is a grandma to my children. She's a mother-like figure to many other children. And it's absolutely amazing. All you might have to give is a little, but I believe that's all that Jesus needs. In the story when Jesus fed the 5,000, what did he have? His disciples brought him a couple of loaves of bread and some fish, and he did the rest. When the woman with the oil was running out of money, all he needed was the little bit of oil that she had to offer, and he made it so that she could fill any jugs that came to her. Give to God your little and watch him work it through the whole batch. And just know this morning, I just want to put it out there. If no one's told you today already, mums, you are absolutely loved, you're appreciated, and we absolutely need you. Am I okay for time? I've got one more minute. I just wanted to finish off, actually. My wife sent me this poem or piece of literature, which I thought was really lovely, and I just wanted to end with this, really. And it's this. It says, "To those who gave birth this year to their first child, we celebrate with you. To those who lost a child this year, we mourn with you. To those who are in the trenches with little ones every day and wear a badge of food stains, we appreciate you. To those who experience loss through miscarriage, failed adoptions, or running away, we mourn with you. To those who walk the hard path of infertility, fraught with pokes, prods, tears, and disappointments, we walk with you. Forgive us when we say foolish things. We don't mean to make this harder than it is. For those who are foster mums, mentor mums, and spiritual mums, we need you. To those who have warm and close relationships with your children, we celebrate with you. To those who have disappointment, heartache, and distance with your children, we sit with you. To those who have lost their mums this year, we grieve with you. To those who experience abuse at the hand of your own mum, we acknowledge your experience. To those who live through driving tests, medical tests, and the overall testing of motherhood, we are better for having you in our midst. To those who have aborted children, we remember them and you on this day. To those who are single and long to be a mother on your own, we mourn that life hasn't quite turned out the way you'd longed for it to be just yet. To those who step-parent, we walk with you on these complex paths. To those who envisaged lavishing love on grandchildren, yet that dream is not to be, we grieve with you. To those who will have emptier nests in this upcoming year, we grieve and rejoice with you. To those who have placed children up for adoption, we commend you for your selflessness and remember how you held those children in your heart. And to those who are pregnant with new life, both expecting and surprising, we anticipate with you. This Mother's Day, we walk with you. Mothering is not for the faint of heart, and we have real warriors in our midst. We remember you. So, mums of all kinds, you are honoured this morning. Thank you. Yeah, I've chose the next song actually. So forgive me if you've never heard it before, but I love the words of this, and there'll be some words on the screen. Try and follow it if you can. And thank you.
What have you done? Murdered for me on that cross, accused in absence of wrong, my sin washed away in your blood, too much to make sense of it all. I know that your love breaks my fall, the scandal of grace, you died in my place, so my soul will live. Oh, to be like you, give all I have just to know you. Jesus, there's no one beside you, forever the hope in my heart. Death, where is your sting?
Thank you. Thank you, Dave. And thank you for introducing us to a new song, which we'll be more familiar with the next time we hear it. Jane and I had a quick look through, so there were bits we recognised. But thank you. We need to... well, possibly there were people who knew it anyway, so yeah, thank you. And now I think we've come to the prayers of intercession. Let us pray. Mother God, caring parent God, loving Father, we have so much to be thankful for, but now is the time for us to think of those less fortunate. Please be with those for whom today is a sad day. Children of all ages who have lost their mums, mums who have sadly lost a child, and all the wider families affected by such loss. We think of families in Turkey and Syria who were recently torn apart by losses resulting from the earthquakes. May they witness your love in the actions of those working tirelessly to bring them comfort. We remember that many Ukrainian families are separated by the effects of war. Those away from loved ones defending their homeland, and those who fled the dangers, seeking safety and security in foreign lands. For the parents left at home, today is another difficult day as they face power cuts and uncertainty, all the harder with the absence of loved ones. Please renew the strength of parents and carers who are struggling, be this financial or physical, those drained of energy, drive, and enthusiasm. We ask that you bless all who take the role of a mother, be they family or friend, female or male. And now we think too of those who are troubled by health issues, those awaiting test results or surgery, and those who are grieving at this time. And from our prayer book, we remember Eileen's brother Philip, John Thomas, who will be having his surgery on Tuesday, and for Jane. Tony Gilmore, who has heart issues. Anne Varley, the Simmons family, and Pat Cowan. As the parent we all turn to, we are confident that you are listening to our prayers. So in a moment of quiet, we all bring you any worries we have for ourselves. Living Lord, we trust that your hand will heal and comfort where needed. Amen. And now we come to our final hymn, which I think will be familiar. In fact, I think it is probably one that the children chose some time. Yes, it's been on the list for a while. Give me oil in my lamp. If you are singing from the book, we are omitting verse 2. And if you have got a book, it's 167. The last thing Jane said before she went to help Fred with the coffee, and before John went to help him, so there's a queue now, was don't forget the flags. And I did. And just before everybody leaves, another mention to remind you you're very welcome to stay and have a hot drink with us, or I think a cold one. And I have been asked to just mention, and I'm sorry, perhaps I should have done it at the start, the service is being recorded and live streamed. So I hope if there is anybody with an issue, please make yourself known and we'll have a word with the technology. And I think that's all the reminders I've got to do. There are some daffodils left, so if you know somebody, a neighbour or somebody you're going to visit later on today who would be welcome. Anybody, if everybody's like a mother to somebody at some point, so please do take some flowers. And lastly, thank you very much. It's been so wonderful to see so many people and parents with the girls as well. And now, if I can find it, there's a blessing somewhere. A traditional blessing from an ancient Celtic prayer. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, the rains fall soft upon your fields, and until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Amen.